Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today I'm in New York City and I'm taking myself out. I'm having a night out on my own, doing it. And I have fantastic plans for the evening. So first, I stopped by and I got dinner. I ate already, but let me show you what I got. I went to a restaurant called Westville, which is on 9th Avenue in Hell's Kitchen. And, you know, a lot of times questions come up for people, especially when people visit New York City, like, what's a great place to eat near Times Square? Walk a couple blocks over, go to Restaurant Row, go to Hell's Kitchen. There's so many options. And this was delicious. So now that my tummy is full and I'm happy, I walked up a few more blocks to Lincoln Center. Now Lincoln Center is a bit of like a campus, right? There are multiple venues at Lincoln Center. And I am going to the Vivian Beaumont Theater to see McNeal starring Robert Downey Jr. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm going to see Robert Downey Jr. live. Yes. That is the plan for this evening. So let me go figure out where the Vivian Beaumont Theater is, because I don't think I've been there before. I've been to the ballet and I've been to David Geffen Hall. I don't think I've been to this theater. I gotta figure this out. Okay, I got it. I found it. I see where I'm going. Okay, so if you are at Lincoln Center and you go towards like the main building where the ballet is, you go to the right. And this is the building directly next to it. So it's like that building over there, that's where the ballet is. You go over here, kind of like by this sculpture here, right? The sculpture in the little pond. I was gonna call it a river, it's not a river. But the sculpture in the pond. And then the theater we are going to is right here. So here is the poster for McNeal. So you can see starring Robert Downey Jr., new play by Ayad Akarta, and it was directed by Barlett Shah. And this is the poster for it. So going into this, I'm going in not knowing much. I know the story has something to do with AI, like artificial intelligence and technology, and it's sort of, you know, a very timely topic these days. So I'm very curious to see what the exact plot is and how this is going to unfold, and sort of like what the parallels are and what the sort of like, I don't know, predictions of AI on life and art are. We'll find out. So I'm going to see the play, and then we'll check back after. So the play was so good. I'm kind of shook. It was intense. So before I tell you what I think, I want to kind of sit with it a little bit. I want to sit with it. But I also, this is my first time ever, I went to the stage door. So I'll show you some video of what it's like to go to the stage door after a show. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna sit with all this. I'm gonna process. I'll be back and I'll let you know what I thought of the play. And with the magic of cinema or YouTube, I am back. I'm home. It's actually been 2 days, and I kind of wanted to think about what I experienced before jumping into a review, because this play was heavy. It covered a lot of topics that are they're traumatic topics. So you carry that and you have to process through some of that. So I will talk about the review, but I also want to answer the question on everyone's mind. Did I get to meet Robert Downey Jr.? No, I did not. I did go to the stage door, as you saw, and I did have several members of the cast signed my playbill. So this is what happened. So we have 4 signatures on my playbill. So there were members of the supporting cast who came out after the show. Actually, I'll look in the playbills to refresh my memory on their names, and I'll let you know exactly who signed it. Because like I remember the roles they played, but I don't off the top of my head. Like I'm terrible with names, by the way. I have to meet somebody like 3 or 4 times to remember their name. So bear with me here. So it was Brittany Belazaire, Melora Hardin, Ruthie Ann Miles, and Saisha, I think it's pronounced Saisha, Saisha, Saisha Talwar. And those are who signed my playbill. So I'm going to put this safe and sound in this little plastic sleeve I have for playbills. Keep that in good shape. Good shape. Okay. But that was also my very first time ever going to a Broadway stage door. The only other stage door I've ever gone to was when I went to see Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck play their concert about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Those were the only times I have ever gone to a stage door. So this was a brand new experience for me, seeing what stage dooring was like at a Broadway show. It was actually fairly organized. Everyone was calm and relaxed, and the way the stage door was located, there was a ramp which kind of had like a barrier wall. So it sort of created a natural divide between people waiting and when they were coming out. So it made it like a safer environment. And they came out, they actually came Sharpies in hand, which was good because I forgot a Sharpie. I totally forgot to bring a Sharpie. But they came out Sharpies in hand. No guarantees that that's how that would happen at any other show, but always good to have your own Sharpie. But they did. They came prepared. They came out with their Sharpies, and they just went from one end to the other, and they stopped and they talked to us and had a conversation. The person next to me was telling the actors that, you know, he was in from Spain and he was coming to see the show, and, you know, so on and so forth. And I was able to express my gratitude for the performance. It was just a wonderful experience to be able to get to speak to the people that just perform for you and really tell them, like, you know, how much you appreciated what they just did, because art is important and powerful, and knowing that you appreciate that is meaningful. So I liked having that moment to be able to share that and say, I appreciate what you do, and, you know, you made me emote, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And the other thing with the stage door is, you know, after those performers came out, they did say to us that, you know, Robert wasn't going to be signing, and everyone was just like, okay. And we all just sort of dispersed, you know, no muss, no fuss. I can certainly understand that, like, because, like, if it got out that he was like signing all of a sudden, like, can you imagine the crowd control that would be needed over there after every show, every night while he's performing? It would cause chaos, and that chaos is not good. No chaos. So like I said, I totally understand why he was not signing. So that was my experience with the stage door. Now on to what did I think of the play? So, like I said, it was heavy. I don't want to like give too much away, but the general idea of the play is that McNeal is the main character, played by Robert Downey Jr. And McNeal is an author, and he has like a lot of ego. He has a lot of narcissistic type of traits. He's a very flawed human being. And in addition to that, he's also an ill human being. He has some sort of illness that is killing him slowly. And because of that, and that's sort of like where the story starts, then he has these great aspirations. He's very grandiose in his thinking. And he wants to win awards, and he thinks himself like this amazing caliber author and so on and so forth. And then intermingle AI, right? Artificial intelligence, chat GPT, those kinds of things. For an author, using AI, and in this world that was being portrayed, like in that story, some of the best-selling books were written by AI. And something that McNeal had noticed is that AI can be very good at certain things, but because it's trained to give us what we want, it doesn't compute things that happen in life that are sad, that are depressing, that are anxiety provoking. They all have to, if the AI was able to do that, it had to also give a positive resolution, like a solution focused, outcome. It's like some sort of event happened and it is resolved. And life is messy. Life is really messy. And the AI can't compute, so to say. So that's sort of like the general premise of it, and his thoughts and usage or not usage of AI and on work that he was creating. And it really, in this day and age where AI is becoming more and more and more prevalent, really begs the question of like, what are we teaching the artificial intelligence? What is it creating? What are we feeding it, right? Like there was that fable about like, which wolf do you feed? And it's, like my personal take on AI is we need to proceed with caution. We need to be thoughtful, and we need to recognize the full scope of humanity and the impact that AI is having. Because it can also set us up to have like really unrealistic expectations of ourselves too, right? Like humans are not perfect. There are not always happy endings. I wish there were. I wish we could have happy endings all the time. But life is messy. Life is challenging. And sometimes it resolves and sometimes it doesn't. Or sometimes the resolution isn't clear cut. Sometimes there's like muddy waters. And these were all the things that like this play was making me think about. But also on top of that, when I mentioned that the play was heavy, trigger warnings left and right if you have any sort of sensitivity to traumas, because trauma between family dynamics, trauma with loss and death, and all those types of things. There are a lot of topics that come up in this play that can be very upsetting, and if that's not the emotion that you want to feel when you're going out to a play, or you're very sensitive to these type of traumatic events, be warned. That's why I'm putting this sort of like trigger warning out there. Like this play contains a lot of that. So just be aware. Be aware. So what did I think about the rest of it? I thought the set design, very clever. I thought that it was great the way they used some screens as like McNeal's phone. So if he was putting a prompt into like the AI, it was up on the screens. So it was like, write a novel in the style of blah, 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 blah. And they would use the screens. And it's sort of like brought us into that world a little bit. I thought Robert Downey Jr. did a great job. I think, he really, it was a good character for him. I think it sort of falls under an archetype of a character that he plays well. It's a Tony Stark type of a character without the superpowers, right? It's in terms of like personality. But I think that it came across well. I think that Robert Downey Jr. used the material well. The other co-star in this movie was Andrea Martin, and she was amazing. And the way that she interacted with Robert Downey Jr. and their chemistry on stage was amazing. That interaction and that pairing made this play work really, really well. Some other performances I think could have been tightened a little bit. And I do preface this with, when I saw it, it was still in previews, but it only had 2 shows in previews left before it's like the go live date. So I do feel like some of the other cast could have tightened up their performance a wee bit. But in terms of the way Robert Downey Jr. and Andrea Martin portrayed their characters, I think they did an amazing job. This was not a musical, so don't think that there were any songs and dance. This was not a musical. This was, just a spoken play. So that is where I'm at with this. This play, I think I'm going to carry with me for a while. I think because it delves so much into traumas, it's a lot for me to mentally and emotionally unpack. And just to sort of like I said, I had to sit with it. I had to sort of wrap my brain around all of it, because it was tough stuff. It was tough stuff. And because of that, it made a real impact. Like the way it's staged, and like I am going to carry that with me. There are moments in that play that, those moments when like time stands still or slows down and you just hold that. There are some moments in that play that I know are those moments where everything just slowed down. And those particular moments, they're going to live in me. They're going to live somewhere inside of me. And I mean, isn't that what you could hope for art, to make that kind of an impact? So if you're out there looking for like a feel-good, happy-go-lucky play, this is not it. If you're looking for something that's thought-provoking, unique, and will make you think afterward, yeah, that's what I got out of it. So these were my thoughts and opinions about seeing McNeal and taking myself out to dinner, in New York before the play. And I guess with that, I am done. I'll see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.